Have you ever looked at your cat and just felt like you're speaking two completely different languages? You love them, of course, but there's this communication gap. Well, it turns out that gap is much, much bigger and potentially more damaging than most of us ever imagined. So let's dive in. Because what if I told you that some of the most normal things you do every single day, things you think are showing love and affection, are actually damaging your cat's trust and well-being in ways you can't even see? You see, cats have this set of unspoken rules they expect us to follow. But when we break them, which, let's be honest, most of us do, they don't really complain. Instead, their trust just quietly erodes. The damage is often done long before we even notice there's a problem at all. So let's start by looking at our own behavior, but from their perspective. Some of our most common, totally well-intentioned actions are completely misinterpreted in the feline world. This is where things get wild. That loving stare you give them? Yeah. In cat language, direct, unbroken eye contact is a threat. It's a prelude to a fight. And that playful wrestling you do with your hand, you're not just playing, you're actively training them that human skin is a target. And what about discipline? Okay, so the cat scratches the couch, we yell, and they don't think, oh, I shouldn't scratch this. No, they think my human is unpredictable and scary. A 2021 study in animal cognition actually found that cats exposed to raised voices developed long-term stress and avoidance. At the end of the day, you're not teaching them a lesson, you're just teaching them to fear you. And this gets to the absolute heart of it. A core feline need is control. Cats just aren't wired like dogs. Being suddenly scooped up triggers a predator-prey instinct. Think about it. In the wild, the only time their paws leave the ground is when they've been caught. Studies even show higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, in cats who are frequently picked up without starting the contact themselves. Okay, so we know what not to do. But how do we learn what they are trying to tell us? Well, it all starts by learning their silent language. And that's the key to building a way better bond. Have you ever been petting your cat, everything seems totally fine, and then, bam, they bite you? They didn't just snap out of nowhere. You missed the warnings. These super subtle signals are their polite way of saying, hey, I've had enough. Researchers call it petting-induced aggression, and it happens when pleasure turns into overstimulation. They ask you to stop, you just didn't speak the language. But here's the thing, not all bites are created equal. A bite from fear looks totally different. We're talking hunched back, pinned ears, that's pure survival mode. But then there's the love bite. It's this soft grip, their body is relaxed, they might even be purring. This comes from when they were kittens, grooming each other with gentle nips. It's their way of treating you like you're one of them, like your family. So, if a direct stare is a threat, how do you show affection? It's this, the slow blink. You look at them softly, you slowly close your eyes, and then you open them again. In their language, that is the ultimate sign of trust. You're showing them you're comfortable enough to let your guard down. That is how you say, I love you. Now, to really get this, we need to shift our entire point of view. Let's try to see and experience the world the way they do, because their reality is shaped by senses and instincts that are completely different from our own. Get this, when you lean in close to your cat, they can't actually see your face clearly. Anything closer than about 10 inches is just a soft, fuzzy shape. They don't recognize you by your face the way we recognize each other. No, they recognize you by the way you move, your unique scent, and the sound of your voice. They carry the feeling of you. All right, now for a number that might just shock you. 10%. That's the typical amount of moisture in the dry kibble most cats eat every single day. And why does that 10% matter so much? Because cats evolved as desert animals. They're designed to get almost all their water from their prey. They aren't wired to just drink enough on their own. And that means a cat on a dry food-only diet is often living in a state of constant low-grade dehydration, putting just immense strain on their kidneys and their urinary tract over time. Finally, let's look at their home. We think a quiet, clean house is perfect, but for cats, it can feel like a prison. They are hardwired for stimulation, for sounds and scents, things to stalk and to climb. A study from applied animal behavior science found that cats in understimulated homes show way higher rates of anxiety, aggression, and withdrawal. Okay, we've covered the mistakes, we've covered the language, and we've covered their perspective. But all of this leads to the most important question of all. When your cat looks at you, what do they actually see? The answer might just change everything. Let's just start with what you aren't. They have never, not once, looked at you and thought, human or owner. According to animal behaviorist John Bradshaw, cats never developed a separate social behavior for people. They treat us using the exact same social cues they'd use with another cat. So when they rub against your leg or groom you, they're not being subservient. They're treating you as an equal, a very large, slightly uncoordinated member of their family. And here is the perfect example of how they adapt to us. Adult cats do not meow at each other. That's a sound kittens use for their mothers. But your cat figured out you're basically deaf to their subtle body language. So they relearned a kitten behavior and developed an entire vocal language just to talk to you. And the depth of this bond it's just staggering. A 2019 study at Oregon State University put cats in an unfamiliar room. With their owner there, their stress levels were low. But when the owner left, they shot up. The moment the owner returned, they just relaxed again. What this shows is that over 60% of these cats have a secure attachment to their person. That's the very same attachment style that human babies show with their mothers. Their nervous system literally calms down just from you being in the room. So they don't just see you as an equal, they see you as their safe place. The one presence in the world that tells their entire body that everything is okay. You aren't just a person they live with, you are their anchor. You are home. So the next time you see your cat, I want you to look closer. Listen differently. You've just been handed the dictionary to a secret language. What new conversations are you about to have?